Like Burundi, which has become now, which is now peaceful. Countries like Rwanda, which is peaceful. All our neighboring countries, which are peaceful. Some of them, like Ethiopia, Eritrea, those are peaceful countries. But we still have Eritrean refugees here. We still have Burundian refugees here. We still have some Rwandese refugees here. And so on. We are saying we have to review the policy of this voluntary repatriation of refugees to their countries. It should be reviewed such that those refugees are forced to go back to their countries. But the countries where there's still turbulence, like the Democratic Republic of Congo, South Sudan, where there's active kind of insecurity, those ones we may still postpone the idea of forceful repatriation of their citizens. Those are the ideas that are coming. Because otherwise, then we don't have capacity to keep that number of refugees as a country. We don't have the budget, we don't have the money to look after those kind of large numbers of people.
Thank you, Honorable.
Yeah, thank you.
Yet they are requiring us to localize, meaning Uganda taking over. We have burdens. As government, how are we handling this new requirement, and what do you request from the global communities?
Well, first of all, refugee issues is beyond Uganda. Refugee matters is the UN matter, because that's why there is United Nations High Commission for Refugees to look after those who have run away from their countries because of the different pressure on them, different persecution or whatever form. Now in Uganda, we have been hospitable. Anybody who runs from a problem and who is being persecuted in their countries, we allow them to stay here in our country, and we give them space where to stay. Unfortunately, but in doing so, the United Nations High Commission has been providing for money for logistics and other needs of refugees. But currently, that support is dwindling because I think there are multiple problems globally nowadays. There are many cases where the UN has to give some support. And not only that, there are countries, this money which, the money which the UNHCR is using are donations from countries. Some of those countries now are no longer giving blanket donation. They are earmarking their donation for specific countries where refugees are, for specific people. Like they would earmark it for refugees from Gaza, from Palestinians, or refugees from Syria, or refugees from other countries. Previously, it used to be blanket. They used to put the money in a blanket so that the UNHCR would apportion it according to the needs of a particular refugee group countries. But that is no longer the case. Very few put money in that common basket. And therefore, that has made us now suffer because there's not enough money coming to manage the refugees in Uganda. So we have to now develop innovative approach to this. Most of the money usually is needed, first of all, to feed the refugees, to provide services like health, education, and so on to the refugee children. And so now those services now, for those services, we have to become innovative. We have to find alternative ways as Uganda, for which we are now trying to establish different approach to ensure that those services are given to the refugees.
Honorable, you hinted on this
of durable solutions in terms of building an enabling environment or conditions in their countries of origin. We are lamenting about the resources that are reducing, and we seem to be building on how to sustain refugees in our country. How do we stem the fact that there are push factors from these countries where these refugees are coming from? Are we really paying much attention to seeing a day when we can have these refugees back to their countries? Or we want to continue offering Panadol, we want to continue in these projects for our own expediency, and yet even the land that we are talking about is not expanding. These people are also growing in terms of their population. There has to be really a solution that is more durable than just us thinking that we can sustain. One day we may wake up and another leader might emerge like in Egypt that will not allow this positive trend of open door policy. So I would want to appeal that even as we look at the GRF, we should be thinking about how do we support IGAD. I'm sitting next to Innocent. How do we support IGAD to have cessation of hostilities, especially in these countries where war is pushing away people? How can we have disarmament in these countries? And maybe stop supply of arms and ammunition that are making refugees run away. And even causing some sanctions and embargoes to these countries. Because we can't continue thinking that we can get money from other people to support people who are running away from their own countries. I think the best place to live in is your own country. And I think any day that anybody wants to push me from my country shouldn't be desirable. I should really be able to get back where my homestead is, where I can live a more dignified life. I thank you, Honorable Minister.